Good afternoon, Virgo. Pay attention. Something's cracking open. Not in some distant future, not eventually, not when the stars align or when you've checked every box on some cosmic to-do list. Now. Right now, in the space you're occupying this very moment. There's a threshold you've been standing at without fully recognizing it, a line between what was and what's about to be. And whether you feel ready or not, whether you think you've done enough or not, whether you believe you deserve it or not, you're crossing it. Stay here with me, because I'm not talking about incremental change. I'm not talking about small improvements or gradual progress or things getting slightly better over time. I'm talking about a fundamental restructuring, a complete reset, the kind of shift where you look back 3 months from now and barely recognize the person you were before it happened. A new beginning, an actual one, not another false start, not another moment of hope followed by disappointment, not another maybe this time that fizzles out. This is different. And you can feel it if you're honest with yourself. Can you feel it? That subtle electric charge in the air around your life? Drop a comment if something already feels different, because here's what's actually occurring right now. The old chapter is closing, whether you're orchestrating the close or not. Situations that have been limping along are reaching natural endpoints. Relationships that have been on life support are flatting. Patterns you've been trying to break are finally losing their grip. And it's not because you're suddenly doing everything perfectly. It's not because you finally healed enough or grown enough or become enough. It's because cycles end, stories conclude, seasons shift, and your season of struggle, of stagnation, of feeling stuck in the same repeating loop, it's done. Or it's so close to done that the ending is inevitable, even if a few details are still playing out and what's coming next. That's the new beginning we're talking about. Not a continuation of what was with minor adjustments, but something genuinely new, something that operates under different rules, something that reflects who you've become through all the grinding you've been doing. Does this land? Does this match what you've been sensing beneath the surface? Let me know in the comments, because let me paint you a clearer picture of what I'm tracking in your energy field right now. There's momentum building, the kind you can't manufacture or fake, the kind that only comes when you've actually done the work, when you've actually stayed consistent, when you've actually kept showing up even when nothing visible was moving. You've been planting seeds in frozen ground for what feels like forever, putting in effort that seemed pointless, making choices that didn't immediately pay off, staying disciplined when the results weren't validating the discipline, and all of that. It wasn't for nothing. Those seeds are about to break surface. That effort is about to compound into visible outcome. Those choices are about to reveal why they mattered. Not all at once in some dramatic explosion, but rapidly enough that you'll notice the acceleration, clearly enough that you'll recognize the shift is real. And when it starts, when you begin to see tangible evidence that things are actually moving differently now, you're going to feel a specific emotion you haven't accessed in a while. Excitement, real excitement. Not hope pretending to be excitement, not forced optimism trying to compensate for doubt, but genuine, from your gut excitement about what's unfolding, about where you're headed, about the possibilities that are suddenly available that weren't before. Have you felt glimpses of this starting to surface? Comment below if you're picking up on this, because here's what you need to understand about new beginnings. They don't usually announce themselves with trumpets and fanfare. They don't send advance notice. They don't wait for you to feel completely ready. They just start, often quietly, often in ways you don't immediately recognize as significant. A conversation happens that opens an unexpected door. An opportunity appears that wasn't on your radar. A person enters your orbit who's connected to something bigger. A shift in perspective occurs that changes how you see everything. And in the moment, it might not feel like a big deal. It might just feel like a normal Tuesday, another day, another small thing happening. But looking back, you'll see it clearly. That was the moment. That was when everything pivoted. That was the actual beginning, even though it didn't feel dramatic at the time. And for you, that moment is either happening right now or it's about to happen so soon that the gap is negligible. You're in the pocket. The window, the brief span of time when old and new overlap before the old fully releases. And what you do in this pocket, it matters. Not because you can mess it up, not because there's some perfect action you need to take or you'll blow your chance, but because how you show up now sets the tone for what you're building. The energy you bring to this beginning creates the foundation for everything that follows. Does this make sense? Does this feel relevant to where you're standing? Let me know in the comments, because I want to address what you might be feeling as you hear all this. Skepticism, maybe because you've heard versions of it's about to get better before and it didn't materialize the way you hoped. Fear, possibly, because new beginnings mean uncertainty, and uncertainty is uncomfortable even when what's certain has been painful. Exhaustion, definitely, because you're tired of hoping, tired of trying, tired of staying open to possibility when possibility has disappointed you repeatedly. And all of that is legitimate. All of that makes complete sense given what you've been through. But I need you to hear this. Your previous disappointments don't negate what's happening now. The fact that things didn't work out before doesn't mean they can't work out this time. Each ending created space. Each disappointment taught discernment. Each closed door refined your understanding of which doors are actually worth walking through. You're not the same person who experienced those previous letdowns. You're not approaching this new beginning from the same level of awareness, the same patterns, the same blindness. You're sharper now, clearer, more aligned with what you actually need versus what you thought you wanted. And that difference, it changes outcomes. It means this new beginning isn't just going to repeat old patterns with different characters. It's actually going to be different because you're different. Have you been recognizing growth in yourself that you haven't fully acknowledged? Drop a comment if this feels true, because here's what else I'm seeing in your energy. There's a specific area of your life where the new beginning is most concentrated, where the shift is most pronounced, where the change is going to be most visible. For some of you, it's career, work, professional identity, the way you earn, the way you contribute, the role you play in the world beyond personal relationships. Something's opening there that's been closed. Access is being granted that you've been denied. Recognition is coming that you've been working toward without receiving. And it's going to feel like finally someone sees the value. Finally, the effort pays off. Finally, you're not having to fight so hard for basic respect or opportunity. For others of you, it's relationship love, partnership, the way you connect, the way you're seen, the way you experience intimacy and commitment. Someone's entering who operates differently than people from your past. Um, or someone already present is showing up differently than they have been, or you're relating differently in ways that create different results, and it's going to feel like relief. Relief from the games, the confusion, the constant wondering where you stand, relief into something clearer, steadier, more real. For others, still, it's location, physical space, where you live, where you exist, the environment that surrounds you daily. Movement is happening that felt impossible. Resources are appearing that were lacking. Circumstances are aligning that were stubbornly refusing to cooperate, and it's going to feel like freedom, freedom from a space that never quite fit, freedom into an environment that actually supports who you're becoming. And for some of you, it's all of the above, multiple areas simultaneously restructuring. Everything shifting at once in ways that feel almost overwhelming but also exhilarating. Which one resonates most? Where are you feeling the strongest pull toward change? Let me know in the comments. Because here's what's important to understand about how to navigate this new beginning. Don't try to control it. Don't try to micromanage every detail. Don't try to force it to look exactly like your mental picture of how it should unfold. Your mental picture is limited. It's based on what you've seen before, what you know is possible, what fits into your current understanding, but what's actually available to you, it might be bigger than your mental picture. It might come in forms you haven't considered. It might exceed what you thought to hope for. And if you're too rigid about how it has to look, if you're too attached to a specific path or outcome, if you're too controlling about the details, you might block the very thing you've been wanting because it doesn't arrive in the exact package you expected. So stay flexible, stay open, stay receptive to surprise, be clear about what you want in terms of how it feels, what it provides, what it allows you to experience, but release the attachment to exactly how that has to manifest. Release the need to know every step of the journey before you take the first one. Release the requirement that it makes complete sense before you engage with it. Just move, respond, participate. When opportunities appear, explore them, even if they're not exactly what you pictured. When doors open, walk through them, even if you can't see the full room yet. When invitations come, say yes, even if you're not totally sure where they lead, because new beginnings require a level of trust that old patterns don't. They require you to act before you have complete certainty. They require you to choose possibility over safety. And that's uncomfortable. That goes against every self-protective instinct you've developed. But it's also necessary because safety keeps you where you are. And where you are is what you're trying to move beyond. Have you been playing it too safe, waiting for guarantees before you move? Comment below if this resonates. Because here's what I'm also sensing about this transition period. There's going to be a moment, probably soon, where you have to make a choice, a real choice, not a theoretical, what would I do if, but an actual decision with actual consequences. And in that moment, you'll feel the weight of it. You'll feel the significance. You'll know that what you choose determines which path you walk. and one option will feel safer, more familiar, more aligned with who you've been and how you've operated. The other will feel riskier, less certain, more aligned with who you're becoming and where you're being called. And you'll have to decide, do I choose from my history or from my potential? Do I pick what I know or what I'm being pulled toward? Do I stay with comfortable or reach for aligned? And nobody can make that choice for you. Nobody can tell you which option is objectively right. Nobody can remove the discomfort of deciding, but I can tell you this: the new beginning exists on the other side of choosing differently than you have before. It exists in the option that scares you a little. It exists where you have to trust yourself more than you're used to trusting yourself. So when that moment comes, when you're standing at the fork looking at two distinct paths, choose the one that makes your heart beat faster. Choose the one that requires you to grow. Choose the one that reflects the future you're trying to build, not the past you're trying to maintain. That's where your new beginning actually lives, in the choice that requires courage. Does this feel like it's coming for you? Let me know in the comments, because I want to address one more thing before we close. You might be wondering, why now? Why is this new beginning happening now after so long of nothing moving? And the answer is because now is when you're ready. Not ready in the sense of having it all figured out, not ready in the sense of being healed or perfect or completely confident, but ready in the sense of having built enough foundation to support what's coming. Ready in the sense of having developed enough discernment to recognize real from fake. Ready in the sense of being solid enough in yourself that external circumstances can shift without destabilizing you. You've been in preparation, whether you called it that or not, whether it felt like preparation or just felt like suffering. Every hard thing you navigated built resilience you're about to need. Every disappointment you processed developed wisdom you're about to use. Every time you chose yourself over convenience strengthened capacity you're about to require. You weren't just enduring for no reason. You were being forged, refined, prepared for exactly this moment. And now you're ready. The preparation is complete. The foundation is solid, which means the new beginning isn't just possible, it's inevitable. So get ready, actually ready, not in an anxious, bracing for impact way, but in an open, receptive, I'm available for what's coming way. Clear space in your life for new things to enter. Release grip on old things that need to go. Create room for the expansion that's about to occur, because your new beginning, it's not coming. It's already here. You're standing in it right now. You just haven't fully recognized it yet, but you will soon, very soon. And when you do, everything changes. I don't sell futures. I build architects. No predictions, just the raw truth for the tough ones. Stay magic. Stay in the now.